Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trilbee, and yes, today is the day that one of the most anticipated trailers ever is dropping. This is one that everybody was counting down to, one I was hugely anticipating for one of the movies that I'm looking forward to most in 2016. It was of course the trailer for Leica Animation's Kubo and the Two Strings.
We don't know anything about you! Firing an arrow is hardly what I'd call impressive.
Literally the first time I've ever done it.
Seriously, how awesome does this movie look? It's like... Oh, okay, this wasn't the movie you wanted me to talk about. Okay, let's move on to Captain America Civil War. I may be joking, but yeah, this is one of the best trailers I've ever seen, like, ever. The reason I'm not doing a written reaction to this is because I'm finding it hard to put my reaction to this trailer into words. This could actually be one of the best trailers that I've ever seen. Not just because it's visually impressive, because it's cut together really well, but because it works on pretty much every single level. You do get the great spectacle, you do get some of the Easter eggs, like we see our first look at the Raft, which is the supervillain prison in the Marvel Universe. We get our first look at that. We get to look at some Black Panther. We get to look at Spider-Man, of course, we'll get to him soon. We get to look at the awesome conflict at play, but that's really what kind of works about this trailer. And while I am anticipating Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice quite a bit, other than the fact that we're going to be getting a visually fulfilling, action-packed spectacle in that movie, I don't really quite know what's going on in terms of the conflict in question between Batman and Superman, whereas with Civil War, I completely get it. I get it in terms of the logic. I see both sides of the argument. I'm actually on Team Iron Man, believe it or not, mainly because he's got the better team, but hey-ho, and also because Bucky's kind of a dick. But the movie also makes a very strong case at the beginning of it in terms of siding with Iron Man when it shows the events of the Avengers, Captain America Civil War, and of course Avengers Age of Ultron, with all the collateral damage and the casualties. They even have a death counter and how much money it costs to repair those damages. Like for example, Sokovia, about 100 people died, and like $500 billion was needed to be spent for repairs. That's kind of insane, and it puts everything in perspective. I was initially worried that Captain America Civil War would go the same way that Avengers Age of Ultron did, in that the trailers for Age of Ultron were really somber and really downbeat, but really dramatic and very effective, and I was looking forward to that more downbeat movie. But in the end, we got a more light-hearted affair, and I think that Age of Ultron could have benefited by going into those darker places that the trailer suggested, whereas with Captain America Civil War, the trailers do have that downbeat and dramatic attitude, but I think the movie is going to follow through on it, otherwise I will be quite disappointed. But going back to Batman v Superman, this trailer works so much better than practically all of the other trailers for that movie combined, because with Civil War, we of course do have like a dozen movies in order to flesh out these characters and their backstories, but this trailer really takes advantage of that. Like, we see Anthony Mackie's Falcon react to the events of Winter Soldier when he's being shown the casualties on the screen and how much collateral damage there were. We saw Scarlet Witch react to Sokovia. We see Scarlet Witch take down Vision, by the way, which was an awesome looking shot. And of course, one of the best lines in this trailer is when Iron Man and Captain America are fighting, and we have that callback to Captain America the First Avenger when he's being beat up by that bully, and he says, "I can do this all day." And I just want to point something out. Robert Downey Jr. has done 5 or 6 of these movies, so it's kind of easy to take him for granted and just how good he is in this role. But when Captain America says this doesn't need to end in a fight, and Tony Stark just looks at him and he looks so broken but angry, this guy is such a good actor. And of course, the action does look absolutely terrific. The hand-to-hand combat looks brutal. We see Scarlet Witch and Vision going at it. We see Hawkeye firing his bows, and Ant-Man is riding on top of them, and it's absolutely insanely good. And we get the big confrontation, the big heroes versus heroes shot at the end, the money shot if you will, but we all know that the big money shot and the big talking point of this trailer is going to be the Spider-Man reveal, and it was done so incredibly well. We see the webs first, we see him slightly jump into the corner of the frame where we see that he does indeed have web shooters, artificial web shooters. It's not organic stuff like in the Sam Raimi movies, which wasn't a problem, but it is nice that they are going with the web shooter approach. And then he jumps on top of the car with Captain America's shield, looks up, and his irises retract. Oh my goodness, that's such a cool look, because we get the classic Spider-Man look, but we also get the Ditko look, and I love both of them. And we see on his costume that he has a belt which holds, I'm assuming, additional web cartridges. And for some reason, people have been complaining about Tom Holland's voice, saying, "Oh, he sounds like a kid." Spider-Man he is a kid. He is young. He's meant to sound kind of prepubescent. But one thing I am wondering is, did they need to show Spider-Man? Now, obviously, it would have been great to see him for the first time in the movie itself, and I'm sure that we're going to see much more of him, and I don't think this will be his very, very first scene in the movie. It might be Spider-Man's first scene, but I don't think it'll be Peter Parker's first scene. I have a feeling that him and Tony Stark will have a scene earlier on in the movie. But the reveal does make business sense, because ticket sales are now live on Fandango.com, so obviously they want people to get hyped. Oh, Spider-Man's in this movie, let's book tickets right now. It does make sense, and business-wise I get it. But did they need to show Spider-Man? I'm happy they did. I naturally squeed and had a fangasm, but did they need to show him? I'm indifferent to it. I think that it would have been cool if they didn't show him, but I am glad that they did show him. I think if that's all he does in the movie, if that is the only time we see Spider-Man in the costume, then yes, we will have a big problem, and they should not have shown that in the trailer, but I have a feeling they have a bit more to show. And someone made a stupid comparison online saying, oh, everybody loves that Spider-Man is in the trailer, they love that he's in the trailer at the very end, but when Doomsday shows up in Batman v Superman, everybody I guess gets really angry. That's a stupid comparison, because we always knew that Spider-Man would be there, and he's going to be kind of incidental to the plot. He'll play a role, he'll have some action set pieces, but he's not going to be the whole crux of the narrative. Whereas Doomsday, because when you show him at the end of Batman v Superman, you essentially show Batman and Superman coming together in a movie with V verses in the title. It's absolutely stupid. And also with Doomsday's reveal, it's cut and dry that Superman is probably going to die in the movie, so that's just another plot point completely spoiled by that reveal. Obviously, we can't properly compare until both movies come out. This comes out at the end of April in the UK, which I'm very, very thankful for. We get it before America, even though Captain America is in the title. I think it's only fair if we get a Captain Britain or Union Jack movie that America gets it first. I think that makes sense. But yeah, this trailer was absolutely spectacular, and I think pretty much everything worked about it. I loved almost everything about it. I think they didn't show the resolution, they didn't show too much of the climax, and I am interested in knowing if there is, like, we don't even really see Baron Zemo in this trailer. I think he may be in the background of one shot as an Easter egg, but we don't really see him much, and I just think that there's either side could win here. I want to know where the Marvel Cinematic Universe ends at the end of Civil War. I want to know where it ends up. Captain America Civil War comes out in the UK on April 29th, 2016, and in the US on May 6th, 2016. I'll see you folks next time.
Stay down. Final warning.
I could do this all day.